Hi there, I'm Ryan Schiff. I'm here at the Waukesha Johnson Fitness and Wellness store. I'm going to be going over a few different things that you can do for your treadmill to help it last quite a long time. In particular, probably the most important thing to do as far as maintaining your treadmill is to do lubrication underneath the walking belt or the running belt. And we have a couple different ways to apply it. One's going to be with a stick that has a sponge at the end and 100% silicone that you would just kind of drizzle some of that or snake some of that on the pad, maybe about a quarter of this. You're not taking the whole bottle, and nor are you just doing a couple drops, maybe a quarter of this, pouring it on here while the treadmill is off. Simply take your thumb and index finger and slide it with the pad facing down underneath the belt. You're gonna work it in like that. Don't try to get it all the way to the other side, because of course simply you can just go to the other side and just slide it underneath the other side. And then when you're done doing that, you'd want to get on the machine, walk on it, let yourself drift maybe to the back, walk off to the side so that you're pressing down and it's getting applied all over the entire bottom of the belt and then the deck part. This should be done with our treadmills about every 3 months, and our treadmills are pre-lubricated, so about 3 months after you start using your treadmill, that's when you can apply this. There's another option with a spray bottle. Again, 100% silicone is very important. If you have any other additives in your silicone and then some other additives, it can eat away at the belt, so it's important that it's 100% silicone. You'd simply, this is a spray bottle. Spray bottle, you're just gonna lift up like before, try to spray in as far as you can. It's not gonna get as far as your stick. The stick's probably a little bit better, but that's your call if you wanna do that. I think there's a little bit more in this bottle. There's also treadmills that need wax. We do have something that's a stick with a paraffin wax at the end, and that's really rare. We have one treadmill, so I'm not gonna go over that I guess too much, because it's more or less just the same thing. You would wanna heat up the bottom underneath the belt. So you'd want to use your treadmill for maybe 10 minutes, heat it up, and then with that paraffin wax at the end stick, slide it underneath both sides, and then walk all over to kind of like heat that wax up and keep that lubricated. The other couple things that you definitely want to pay attention to is the belt being centered. So this belt as is, it's quite centered. You're never going to get it perfect. But if you look down here, you want a little bit of space off to the side of the belt. If you see your belt moving to one side or the other drastically, every treadmill's got some holes in the back. They have an Allen bolt head, which you can play around with that, quarter turns, and you're gonna be manipulating this back roller, turning it so that the belt will move back to the center position. Belts will always move back and forth because of foot striking maybe more with your right foot, or foot striking more with your left foot more heavily. And then also the belt expands and heats up over time, so it loosens up. You want to make sure it stays centered, otherwise you're going to get a lot of rubbing on the side and you can tear up your belt. Lastly, some people don't think of this, but some treadmills have an open back or an open bottom to them, and whatever's on the floor underneath, it's going to want to suck things up when you're using it, especially if you're jogging or running. So your motor cover usually has maybe 4 to 6 screws or something like that. You're going to want to pop that off maybe every couple months, few months. You know, if you've got a dog, cat, if it's a little bit of a more dusty area or something, there will be things that will collect in here. I've seen where a guy had 2 dogs and it was 2 German Shepherds, and it almost as if he brushed his dogs and put it inside of his motor compartment. It was that bad. So you want to pull that off, vacuum in there very gently. There's circuit boards in there. There's a motor, so you just want to be kind of careful with that, 2 motors. So you want to vacuum that out so that it doesn't maybe screw up the electronics or something. So those are really the 3 things that you should be doing. That lubrication, if you don't do that, it's almost like taking your vehicle and not getting an oil change. Never getting an oil change and just like risking it. Your engine is gonna seize up eventually. Well, you're gonna ask that motor to work extremely hard if there's much more friction than there should be. So that's what I got for you today. Appreciate you stopping by.